Well, I threw the perfect bowl and I didn't have the camera on. It wasn't a mistake or anything. The camera was in the house charging, but this is this is the perfect bowl. The most perfect bowl I've ever thrown. I had it on the wheel and you can't even tell that the thing is turning because it's so good. Okay, so now I'm gonna throw the other one and the other piece of reclaim that I was showing you, and we'll see how I do with the camera on. Okay, we're gonna see if I can throw another perfect bowl, and it needs to, I've measured it, and the width at the top needs to be this big. And so I always do the best stuff when I don't have the camera on. I guess it has something to do with my ability to concentrate or something like that. But anyway, we'll try it. This piece of clay is slightly bigger than the other one. And so we'll see. We'll see how easy it is to be perfect again. Not often does that happen. Okay. And I've got something that's bothering me, so I'm gonna fix that right now. My bat. Sometimes your bat, the pin, the holes in the bat get a little bit, I guess they wear. I mean, everything wears, right? So I hate it when it wobbles like that because it makes me feel like I'm not getting it perfectly round. So what I do is take a few little pieces. This is a piece of newspaper. You probably can't tell that, but anyway, I'm gonna get it wet and then I'm gonna stick it right over the bat pins. In some cases, I've had to put 2 layers of paper under there because that's how worn out the little things are. Let's see if anybody else has some other solution that doesn't require that, because sometimes you have to be careful when you take the bat off that you get that paper and throw it in the trash and not get it in your splash pan where it becomes part of your scraps, and then when you recycle your clay, it gets in there, and then when you're throwing it, you end up having a piece of paper in there. And that's, yeah, it was just a little off center because of those bat pins wobbling. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make a huge difference, and some people can still throw. I guess it depends on what you're throwing, whether or not you can still get what you want. Get that. But if it's just the slightest bit off center, it really bothers me. I think I'm kind of a perfectionist, or maybe obsessive compulsive, just a little bit. Everybody's got to have something, right? Well, that's mine. Okay, now let's see if we can open this. And I pay a lot of attention to the bottom, like compressing the bottom when I drill down and open this up. And the reason is I don't like cracks in the bottom. I just get so upset when I come up with a piece that has a crack in it, because it may be one of your really nice pieces and it gets to be hammered to bits in the trash can if it has a crack. I don't know, maybe I should learn how to do kintsugi and fix all the cracks with gold instead of, but then you can't put it in the oven or microwave, especially. You couldn't put it in there if you did that on it. So let's see how deep this is. Okay, I've still got a little room. So I'm just getting the sides kind of uniform, and basically these first couple of pulls on, especially on something with this much clay, this is about 4.5 pounds to start, and I like to get it all even and have the bottom all compressed, so I don't have to worry about the bottom anymore after this point. After I start pulling the walls, I want to be done with the bottom. I think I'm going to check the depth again. So I don't want to leave a whole lot in this one, because this bowl is going to fit on top of the other one upside down. And so let's push that a little more, because I don't need to leave so much down there, but I need to leave enough that it's stable while I'm throwing. Okay, so let's so far so good. We put water on, we mop water off. We try not to let water sit or stand in the bottom for too long, because that will weaken it separates the molecules of the clay, and then you may have some separation down there, and that contributes to cracks. So even if I don't wipe off the inside wall, I will still get the standing water out of the bottom. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Let's go right up here. All right, now I'll get this rib, and I'm going to go down to the bottom and sort of round off I don't like my bottoms to be flat and over and have a 90 degree to the wall. I like for the bottom to be round, and gently transition into the wall. We are definitely getting some sand. I was coughing up dust bunnies outside on the patio this morning. I was washing some of my tools out there. I don't have water in my studio, so I have to take a big tub out there and fill it with a garden hose, put it on a picnic table, and Let's slow that down and sort of, you know, wash dishes basically out there. And that was early this morning. And we definitely got some stuff in the air. And the clouds are brown. It's just a strange look. Very strange to have. Trying to figure out how to hold that. Okay, so let's go from here. And so I'm just gonna try to get this rounded a little more, because this is going to be the top of the other one, so it's going to be kind of upside down. When you get up to the rim of something, you want to let go slowly. If you let go really fast, it knocks it out around. And one time I was doing a video, and I let go too fast. I don't remember what I was making, a teapot or something. And I just said, oh, dang, I don't know why I do that. And a viewer wrote in and said on the comments, you let go too fast. And I was so grateful for that comment from whoever that was. It may have been Nancy Gallagher or somebody who's an experienced potter. And ever since then, I've been so conscious of not letting go of the top until I'm ready. You know, just get it. Oh my goodness, I've got to stretch that out quite a bit. All right. It's showtime. Let's see if I can get some water around there and some water around here. Okay, that's not. Okay, let's see what I can do on this water business. On this spreading this out a little bit. Well, let's do what I did on the other one. We will use my little S-shaped, I guess S-curved is what I called it, an S-curved throwing rib. And so with this, I can just put this on the side, and I like to turn this a little bit so that it isn't just flat up against there. And we'll just stretch that out. And then when I put it, the big part is down into the and see, even on this you have to let go really slow. So when this part right here is down into the center of the bowl, it isn't messing up my nice little curve down there. All right, let's measure it now. I don't know if that brought it out very much. No, I still need about an inch, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that because the rim is pretty thin. So let's compress that a little bit just to give it some strength while I'm fooling around with it. Poor thing. And all right, let's see if that made any difference. That may have done it right there. Okay. All right, so let's check this. the gunk off the inside just to make it nice and smooth. Because every time so this is supposed to be a yarn bowl, and but I'm gonna make it like a big vase and open at the, I don't like to make just a regular yarn bowl. So I'll show you in another video when I glaze them. I'll show you some of the designs that I've come up with that are just not your usual yarn bowl, but I like for them to be just different. That is another perfect bowl. I think that using reclaimed clay is the secret to my success. I do. So this little baby, so what we do, we let these both harden up, and so that the rim is stiff enough to join to the other one. And then I'll trim out the bottom because this will become the top of the other one. Or that one might become the top, I don't know. We'll have to see. I better do this just to give it some extra strength. And I will score and slip on these edges when it's time to join it. And probably put a little snake around there on the inside just to reinforce the join. Okay. I hate to have to cut that out of there because I did such a good job on it. Okay, now let's just raise it off of the bottom just a little bit by putting one of these, there it is. So I'll just take a throwing stick and I'll just go around here. This helps it to be able to be separated from the bat a little bit. It kind of guides the wire when you have to wire it off. I'm not going to wire it off right now because I'm going to let it stiffen up quite a bit before I do that. And so there it is. It is a beautiful bowl. You can't beat that. So let me raise the camera here and I'll if I can clean my hands off a little. See, here I am using my newspaper, recycled paper towel type things. It's all good, right? Make that stuff have another use. Okay, so here's, oh, isn't that pretty? See how there's no, this bowl doesn't go flat and then over to the side and then go up. It just has a nice round. And the reason I do that is because when you put a spoon in a bowl or you're trying to scrape food out of it or whatever you use it for, you don't want to, you know, you don't want to be digging in the corners trying to get everything out. It's such a pleasure to use a bowl that you can just kind of whoop and you've got all of whatever it is out of the bowl. So it's just nice. It just, and look at that. You can't even tell that thing is moving because it's the rim is just so even. This one isn't as even as the other one. I'm telling you, some of my best work is never captured on camera. Okay, well, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to put it together, okay? And I'll share that with you. Take care.